had this large tumor on the side of my neck. Within 3 weeks, that tumor was absolutely gone.
I'm not Dr. Death, I'm Dr. Life.
He says he's curing cancer.
That's right.
But the government wants to shut him down.
It's frightening because I may die.
Bill Legatuda, why have you come here on an extraordinary fight?
Dr. Burzynski saved my life.
I'm Dan Rather, and this is 48 Hours. The American Cancer Society estimates in the next 48 hours, more than 6,000 Americans will hear this one-word diagnosis: cancer. For the woman you're about to meet, that diagnosis was the beginning of a crusade, one you're about to watch unfold, as she fights for something she believes may offer much more than hope. She believes it may also offer a cure.
Deep breath in and hold it.
I'm always nervous going into that CAT scan machine.
Breathe.
It's like a foxhole.
It is like a war for Mary Jo Seigel,
Take a deep breath in.
a battle for her life.
I had cancer throughout my body.
Your cancer was which kind?
I had a non-Hodgkin's low-grade lymphoma,
Which is usually...
fatal.
She had been in remission for about 2 years until
Last October when I had a CAT scan, which showed 2 enlarged lymph nodes.
Table's going to move now.
this morning, Mary Jo and her husband Steve will find out if those growths are still there.
We didn't sleep at all last night. We've been praying that that they have disappeared, and please God, if it's still there, that they haven't gone anywhere else.
If the cancer is gone, it will be something of a miracle, because Mary Jo Seigel has never had any conventional medical treatment.
Why not have a bone marrow transplant?
It's hideous. It consists of massive chemotherapy, high-dose radiation.
He said you will receive as much radiation over the course of 3 days as people that were less than 1 mile from ground zero at Hiroshima.
You told them you're not going to have the bone marrow transplant, and instead you ended up
With Dr. Burzynski. We found out about Dr. Burzynski and his non-toxic treatment.
You saved my son's life,
Well, it's my
and I
pleasure.
thank you for that.
Dr. B
Take deep breath.
is what they call
Okay.
Stanislaw Burzynski, a Polish-born biochemist and physician
Open your mouth for me. Okay, good.
who has
That's
become a
fine.
kind of cult figure for hundreds of patients like Mary Jo, whose doctors told them they would die.
Are you saying that you have found the cure for some kinds of cancer?
We did. We have proved that we can cure some types of cancer, and we selected the toughest cancer to treat.
What he treats them with is a synthetic drug called Antineoplaston. It has not been approved by the FDA.
It does.
Dr.
Why?
Burzynski
Because of
claims his medicine sent Mary Jo into her first remission and says the proof is in these pictures from 2 years ago.
But this is a normal picture. This is a picture of healthy individual. We don't see any tumors here.
You believe the Antineoplaston, your drug,
Yes.
made those tumors shrink up and go
That's
away?
right. That's what it is.
Just disappear like that?
That's right. It's gone. We don't see them anymore.
I had this large tumor on the side of my neck. It was incredible. Within 3 weeks after starting Dr. Burzynski's treatment, that tumor was absolutely gone, disappeared.
This is a bottle of Antineoplaston, which Dr. Burzynski makes here in his pharmaceutical laboratory in Texas. What's in this? He says the recipe is simple. Synthesize certain materials that occur naturally in the human body, peptides, amino acid derivatives. Purify them, put them back into the body, and suddenly, miraculously, cancer cells are reprogrammed to die.
I've got to tell you, though, I mean, it really sounds too good to be true.
It does. It sounds too good to be true, but I'm living proof, and I'm not the only one.
But soon, Mary Jo may be cut off from the medicine she believes is saving her life.
It's very frightening because I may die.
The FDA wants to shut Burzynski down for dispensing a drug that has not been fully tested.
This is like a brain of the entire operation.
The FDA won't discuss the case with us, but gave Dr. Burzynski until the end of March to stop dispensing Antineoplaston.
He has been indicted, and the trial will begin in October.
So, with the deadline fast approaching, Mary Jo Seigel turned her own living room into a mail room.
We just received a check from $1,000.
collecting donations from other believers
$5,000.
to pay for Dr. Burzynski's defense.
I do not want him going to prison. This man is a genius. All humanity needs him.
Is it possible that this is the miracle cure?
No, I don't believe it's possible.
You're that certain that it's not?
The miracle cure, I'm sure it isn't.
Dr. Peter Rosen, who first diagnosed Mary Jo's cancer at UCLA, says the government is following the safest course.
Is the FDA process for legalizing drugs in America a fair one?
Yes. If we don't safeguard the public, I think we're doing as much harm as we would be if we would be rushing these drugs through.
There are some doctors out there who say, Dr. Burzynski, guy down in Texas, is a dangerous man for what he's doing.
Well, why they don't prove it? What dangerous thing I'm doing? I'm saving lives of hundreds of American people who were simply told, go home and die. So what is the danger? I am giving life to the people. I am not Dr. Death, I am Dr. Life.
I might no longer be able to get my medicine, and that my government is trying to put my doctor in prison.
So the Seigels have decided to take on their government.
We're here in Washington and we're going to go testify.
The Burzynski patients will appear before a House subcommittee investigating the FDA's decision to cut off their antineoplaston.
Why have you come here, and what do you expect to get out of this tomorrow?
We're angry. We need our medicine. There are several of us here that could die without that medicine, so we're here to fight for it. And we're here to tell the congressman that we have our rights. I'm a little nervous, but I'm going to speak from my heart, and I'm going to speak the truth, and hopefully we'll get somebody to listen to us.
You swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the entire truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Congress cannot immediately change FDA's drug testing policy.
Now, in February of 1994, our lives were drastically changed. My son, Dustin, he was diagnosed with a brain tumor the size of a golf ball.
But the patient's hope and impassioned plea will get the subcommittee to pressure the FDA into a compromise solution that will keep Dr. Burzynski's clinic open.
We would now like to hear from Mary Jo Seigel from Pacific Palisades in California.
Thank you. 1 year after starting Dr. Burzynski's treatment, UCLA pronounced me in remission. Dr. Burzynski saved my life, and for that, he is facing 300 years in a federal penitentiary. We come before you today to implore you to please put a stop to the relentless persecution of Dr. Burzynski. Thank you very much.
We really appreciate the struggles that you've gone through, and as a people's body, we're going to try to help you. And with that, the subcommittee is adjourned.
How would you sum up your experience here at Congress today?
I'm encouraged, but I'm still very, very frightened.
Frightened because, as we said, Mary Jo's cancer may have returned.
I love you. We've been so involved with all of this, you know, with Dr. Burzynski and with his defense, and it just occurred to me last night that we've got to start thinking about Mary Jo again.
This is it.
The CAT scan today will tell the story.
I'm very concerned and anxious to get this over with.
Did he see anything? Can he tell you?
Dr. Rosen continues to monitor Mary Jo's case. He does not believe Dr. Burzynski's treatment will make her cancer disappear. And he says any natural remission could be short-lived.
There's every likelihood it will recur.
So if she's convinced that she's cured, she's mistaken?
I would doubt very much that she's cured.
But Dr. Burzynski has full confidence he is curing Mary Jo and the others.
How is it possible that you're the only one who's right and all the other doctors out there are wrong?
Well, how is it possible that Copernicus was right and everybody wrong? How is it possible that Louis Pasteur was right and everybody was wrong? How is it possible that Einstein was right and everybody wrong? Somebody has to be a pioneer, and time comes, then he's right and everybody else is wrong.
Back at UCLA, 1 hour later, the suspense is finally over for Mary Jo and Steve.
Oh, boy. What a relief. What an absolute relief.
Oh, I'm so happy. I was so nervous going in, and I had my CAT scan, and I was praying, and Dr. Rosen came in and said, "You're fine."
Yeah. And this is the news you were hoping for.
This is the news we were hoping for, yes. I am so happy. I am so happy.
While the CAT scan result is good news for Mary Jo, at least for now, that is not the end of the story. Still ahead for her and other patients, a judge's decision they believe could make the difference between life and death. You'll be there for the dramatic outcome when we return. For Mary Jo Seigel and many other patients, it all boiled down to one decision on one day. A federal judge would rule whether the Burzynski clinic could stay open as usual, whether the Antineoplaston could be dispensed. Last week, the deadline arrived. From the clinic in Houston to the nation's capital, hope and resolve would be tested. We pick up the story in Washington where, with time running out, the Seigels confronted congressmen who had promised to help them.
Come with me.
Okay.
Oh, he's right there. I'm going to tell him today's the day. He has to do something today. We don't have time to wait.
Congressman Barton, remember us, Mary Jo Seigel and Steve Seigel?
Hi. Good to see you.
You're looking good.
Well, I'm very nervous because I will no longer be able to get my medication.
Once the court's ruled, I'll get with my staff, and then we'll contact Dr. Kessler and see what needs to be done. I can't do anything until we know what the court's going to say.
25 or 35 patients who have been in Washington, D.C. all week just called me on the telephone, and they have done everything they can. And it would seem that this is not important to them, and that they have basically turned their backs on us.
With the hours ticking by, there is still no word from Dr. Burzynski's lawyers, locked behind closed doors with the judge.
When I came to this country, I fell in love with America, so I still feel that the decision will be right. I don't believe any judge will allow people to die for some foolish reasons.
Oh, maybe this will do some good.
Steve and Mary Jo see time and hope slipping away. They take one last desperate step.
We're going to the FDA now. We're going to ride up on the Metro, and we're going to take our case right to the monster. And we're going to let them see us, meet us face to face, let them see that we're normal human beings, that we're in a desperate situation. And I want them to say to Mary Jo, you can't have your medicine, and therefore you have to die.
But suddenly, a development. Dr. Burzynski's lawyer arrives at the clinic.
We got to stay.
Okay, so what happened?
Stay pending appeal.
Oh, okay. Until what?
Pending appeal.
Oh, really?
Could be tomorrow, could be next month, it could be till the trial.
Okay.
So we're okay.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations, yeah. So everyone's on the medicine.
Congrats.
The judge will let the clinic stay open for the time being,
These are tears of joy.
while discussions continue with the FDA.
All right, let's go.
Mary Jo and Steve are also encouraged after a 2-hour meeting with doctors at the FDA.
They said that the capsules would be available, and that the patients would be able to be treated, and that additionally new patients would be able to be treated.
Should we celebrate?
Yeah, why not?
We can celebrate for now. We can celebrate.
All right, let's celebrate.
This reprieve may be only temporary. Dr. Burzynski still faces charges for violating a federal court order that prohibits his medicine from being carried across state lines. He's scheduled to go on trial in October. And that's 48 hours.